Welcome to today's segment. Let me ask you this. How would your business improve, grow exponentially, maybe even with quantum growth, if you were able to accelerate your client experience? If you were able to provide better fulfillment, better media opportunity, better opportunity with printing even, right? It sounds crazy. But today's segment is all about your client experience and how you can help it. And specifically, if you're in the health space or you're in the education space or you're in the wellness space, stay tuned because we've got a lot of great insights to be able to share with you. And imagine, like, what could you learn if you had been around 40 years, and on average, we're shipping over 10,000 customers every single day during that time, on average, right? What would you learn from the body of work that had been done? Well, if that's intriguing to you, regardless of the industry that you're in, you're going to love today's segment. Today's guest expert is someone I've gotten a chance to know over the last decade. His name is Joe Foley. He's the founder and president and runs a company called Disc.com with over 40 years of experience where they're the leader in printing, fulfillment, and most importantly, media, along with helping you tune in your client experience. He's worked with prolific authors who are focused as speakers, leaders who are specifically focused on having a global impact in the world, and he can help you too. So Joe, welcome to the show. How are you, brother?
Fantastic. Thanks for having me, Dan. I'm excited to visit with you today.
As I mentioned in the opening, like 10,000 customers a day, 40 years, like what could you learn from all of the insight on creating and amplifying client experience, the things that work, the things that don't. So we're going to dive into some of those things today. Joe, we'll get into some strategies here in just a couple minutes, but like, you've been in this for a long time, like 40 years, a long time. Like, why are you so fascinated by the experience, printing, fulfillment, media? Like, what's the backstory here, Joe?
I am very enthusiastic and excited about it. I've been involved in printing and fulfillment my whole life. And the story starts so exciting. Before the internet, there was this company called InstallShield. They were one of our first ever software companies that we duplicated their software. They worked with Microsoft. So every time Microsoft needed a new version, like if you went from, you might remember Windows 3.0 or Windows 95, every time they switched to a new version, the InstallShield software would need to be updated. So we updated their software, duplicated it, printed all their books, and shipped it around the world. And every software developer that was running their software on Windows needed to update their software. So, I mean, we grew exponentially. We learned so much about printing and fulfillment. It's so exciting. Then we had a blessing about 15 years later. We did the very first Jeff Walker product launch formula physical product. And we sent that all around the world. And those two customers alone, the referrals were just amazing. So we just focused on providing the best client experience and to those guys, and then we just kept getting new clients, and we've been very, very fortunate.
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, Microsoft, Jeff Walker, and if you haven't heard of Jeff Walker, no big deal. One of the things I love about our work together, Joe, is that it's beyond shipping, right? It's beyond fulfillment, yet those are critical pieces. And most importantly, it's about amplifying and putting a stamp on the client experience, most importantly, overall. And what does that mean? It, usually means you get more business, you grow, you get more referrals, you grow, you get more retention, which means greater profitability. So like beyond Jeff or beyond Microsoft, like what's a client example where they maybe came in a little uncertain about working with, say, you versus someone else, decided to work with you, and then like what happened? Like, and how did you help them either grow the business with more new business clients, referrals, or retention for that matter?
Okay, well, we do have lots of examples, but one that comes to mind is one of our large Anchor accounts that they're the number one weight loss supplement on the ClickBank platform. where all those affiliate marketers
Yep.
sell all their products. When we first were contacted by that client five years ago, they were struggling with their current provider. They just didn't feel like they got the client experience they were looking for, and they specifically had problems with late orders and IT challenges. Their business is so up and down; it's just crazy, depending on the offer, the affiliate, the weather, the holiday. Their volumes go from once regularly, like the low is about 500 orders a day, which is still lots.
Sure.
But once we did 23,000 orders in a single day, they're raving fans, and they're so happy they're with us today. They have 3 different platforms in it, 2 in addition to ClickBank, where the orders come from, and they have a variety of products. So and lots of upsells. So it's really complicated. Our IT staff team is really one of the cool reasons that make them super happy, besides the concierge services we have, like the printing and all the transparency on our cool portal. But they're definitely an example of, they started with pain, and now they're just happy and in love.
Yeah, and I think you've got a very unique situation too, where if it's a fit with somebody, you will actually pay to switch them into your platform,
Yeah.
and give you a test drive so you can prove that your fulfillment, your IT, your portal, all the things that you do really is a needle mover for them, which is like, pretty much unprecedented in your type of industry, because there's a lot that goes into that. So health, wellness, education. You work with speakers, you work with authors, you print books, there's still people that are sending out DVDs and DVDs for a good reason, or CDs and DVDs for good reason, on top of USBs and all kinds of other stuff, the nutrition product, etc. So like, if you were to sum up, this may be like a weird question, but like, if you were to sum up, maybe if you can, in a short window, like, what do you think makes you unique versus others out there that others might be looking to have do fulfillment, media, and shipping for them?
Well, so some of the things that we hear from our raving fan clients sound, I don't know, to me the words, they don't sound like magic, but they just sound like regular words. Like they love our flexibility, And I'm like, well, gosh, wouldn't everybody be flexible if you're in the service business? But we pride ourselves on listening to what our clients want, and then figuring out a way to get it done. We don't believe in having rules like, do it our way. We're the supposed to be providing the service. So we listen to what the clients need, and we stay a step ahead of them when clients say if we ever have to say, we don't carry that particular product, or we don't do that service, a bell goes off, and we got to figure out a way of getting that into our toolbox. The other thing people really like is they really feel like they're working with a team that they trust, complete integrity, transparency. There's nobody selling you stuff here, nobody making anything up. Everything is just so open, transparent. That's what people want. They want to feel they're trusting their orders, most important part of their business, to get delivered, and they're trusting us for that. So I think that's what makes us, different.
That's amazing. And what's amazing, Joe, is I've referred you to some clients, and I would consider them, to a degree, in the beginning, kind of small. Mm-hmm. Like, just one comes to mind right now, a good friend, Mike Aguilero, who is a client of ours and now a client of yours. And their company, like, you're printing a bunch of materials, but, in bigger picture, like 10,000 orders a day of the big one you mentioned earlier, you're still serving with, call it a couple hundred for an event they're hosting. Yeah. And, even for our stuff, I, said, hey, can you print up like 65 of these books with, just pretty intense. It's a 300 plus page book and some inserts and some different things. And you have the flexibility, as I view it, to print on demand small, but also you can support companies doing, 20,000 orders a day, which is just boggles my mind, like what it can take to do that, in your manufacturing facility, which is, tens of thousands of square feet and all the machines you have and your 100 plus staff members. So like there's a lot of mistakes people can make, like in their fulfillment process or delivering experience in call it in the follow-up or delivery of that stuff. Like what are some of the top mistakes you see that a lot of people make with, call it their fulfillment, their media, their client experience, et cetera?
Well, there are a lot of mistakes. One of them comes to mind because you mentioned how we offer to pay for somebody to move their stuff from another provider. Sometimes people feel stuck. I hate to use an analogy of like a bad marriage. They stay kind of stuck with their current fulfillment provider because it just feels too messy to move. And that's not the case. I mean, if you're not in love, totally overwhelmed, happy all the time, if you can't talk about it, you don't have an incredible communication with your service provider, you should think about moving. So that's a mistake. And I think what other people do is when they're starting in the early days, they're tight on money, which makes total sense. But you don't want to be using your high-priced team members doing kind of everyday work, that packing and shipping products. When you get super busy, that's not the time to have your marketing director packing boxes. That's when you should be doubling down on your marketing efforts. And there's a lot of mistakes you can make. And one thing we have is super high-tech security, for all of our IT and servers. And then we have videos all around the warehouse. I had this client tell me this horrible experience before he came to us, that he saw his product list, his customer list for sale on the internet. I was like, what? Somebody at the former fulfillment place, disgruntled employee, was selling the guy's product list on the internet. That's so sad. I mean, everybody that works here has been here super long time. They've grown with us, through lots of pivots in the economy and all these years that we've been together. So those are some of the mistakes.
I mean, the list could go on, and you're just making me think of several things. And what I appreciate too, Joe, is like, again, the speed, whether you're big or small, how you can serve at the highest level. I actually checked in this morning with a client that I had some stuff that you shipped for us to that client. You said you shipped it Friday, and he said, oh, we got it yesterday, which was Monday at the time we were in this session. So literally one business day it was there. I mean, and it wasn't like a super small thing. No. You had a lot of work to get done to get that out. And yet you were able to make that happen, again, creating a wow experience, and like, what's it worth? Like, you think about like what you said about the marketing director, like there's another thing about mind space, right? Where you're worried about it, or you have anxiety over it, or you're wondering like, is this getting done, not getting done? What's it worth to have peace of mind to know that if you just have it set up, that it's done and it's handled in excellence, and it's going to be delivered all the time, every time. And you're essentially open 364 or 365 days a year, 24/7. And like, that's amazing in what we're doing. So, I mean, I could go on and on about some specific examples, Joe, but if someone's, like curious and they're interested, like, they want to help with their client experience, they want a fulfillment company they can rely on, or look to make a move to adjust, maybe because, like you said, maybe they're feeling a little bit stuck, or their company isn't serving them at the highest level. Or I think another big understated mistake is most companies don't have the ability to scale with them either, right? And becomes a holdback. One of the clients we're working with right now that we've gotten connected to, part of the reason they hadn't grown is they felt like, I can't deliver what I can't provide. And you open the door to go, well, we could help you provide 10,000 to 20,000 a day. So like that no longer becomes like, imagine driving through like, I'm going to use a weird example here, McDonald's. Imagine at McDonald's, you go in, right? This is a big mistake for a lot of business. You drive into McDonald's, you put your order in, and they say, okay, well, pull in and we'll have your stuff here on a week from Monday. And wait, like you can't sell what you don't have. And it makes it hard to sell what you don't have from a mind share point of view. And you give people the ability to open their mind globally, or, just bigger if that's where they're at versus globally. To make a bigger impact. So like all that being said, Joe, where can people go? Like if they want to learn more about what you're up to, get more information, maybe get a quote, get some, comparisons, understand a little bit more. Where can they go to learn more about you?
Well, of course, we have our URL back from the early 90s. That's disk.com. Used to mean diskettes, of course, but now it means delivering inspiration and specialized knowledge. So that's an easy place to go. Although the best way is really to talk to us. Schedule a consultation. It's no pressure, no cost, and we want to develop a relationship. There's no rush. You don't call up and say, "Okay, well, you're starting next week." Take your time, talk, discuss, learn about different features. Start small, maybe a little test order. That's all it takes. We do have a lot of resources, a lot of samples we could send you, and we definitely have stories, things we've learned over the years. We've been so blessed to have amazing clients. They're the amazing people. We're a service, they're the creators. They're the brilliant entrepreneurs. We've just grown doing the basics, like listening and serving, So we'd like to share some of their successes with you. So just call up, let's talk.
So I'd encourage you to go to disc.com at the very worst, disc.com, and also in the show notes, there'll be the phone number listed. We'll put it on the video. We'll put it on the page below. You can go to the number on the page, on the site, wherever it is here. I don't know if it's up here or over here, somewhere on here, but it'll be there that you can go to have that conversation, schedule a consultation, and or go to disc.com and fill that out. So, Joe, as we kind of wind down here a little bit, there's a couple of directions I really want to take this. As you really look at the bigger picture, 10,000 to 20,000 a day. Like again, I can't. I haven't just amazing to wrap my head around what you learn from that. The process of even setting it up, let alone these are clients you've worked with for a long time. So it also means they retain clients. It also means they have a good process to make sure that their orders are on time. It also means that they also don't have a lot of refunds and they're still in business X number of years or months or years later, all these sorts of things. So if you were to give somebody some strategies or tips walking away here today on what they could do to make their experience or fulfillment or media or shipping processes better, stronger, faster, what would be a couple strategies or tips that you could give walking away today?
At first, I was thinking about your question, and I was thinking, man, it's the start with having an amazing team. That was the key to our success, and we have everybody cross-trained to do multiple jobs. We work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So for us, that was it's really the core of the client experience that we deliver, is having a good team and having people that just care like crazy. The tips that I would say to listeners are the one we mentioned, please don't hesitate to call. Just talk to us. And the we mentioned focus on the client experience. I mean, everybody should do that. It's old fashioned, provide good service, things like that. But we've been doing it for 40 years, and we have got 70% of our new business from referrals, and that can be tracked over the entire period we've been in business. And so providing good service and client experience works. I mean, it's for sure. The other big tip I really have for people is don't be stuck with the wrong partners when your business hits the big dream moment you've been waiting for your whole life. I mean, don't be stuck in the wrong place. Be at a place that where you can grow and scale, and work with somebody you can trust and you want to be friends with for life.
Yep. And I just want to say, as you're watching or listening right now, if you're looking for a true partner in fulfillment, in shipping, in your media stuff, in creating a wow client experience, reach out to disc.com and learn more. Go to disc.com. You can, again, the number is somewhere here on the page where you can contact them, get more info, find out what they could do for you, identify where you're at, where you want to go, and then come up with a custom solution, whether you're small today or emerging, or you're on the cusp of like 10 to 20,000 orders, a day. I mean, and you work with so many different types of industries, from nutraceuticals, nutrition, golf companies, shipping, different accessories in the golf industry, to, prolific authors, speakers, and leaders with their packaging, with books, etc. Don't underestimate the power of a great partner like disc.com. And so I encourage you to go learn more. Now, Joe, here's a little bit of a weird question. A lot of people are fascinated by the future, right? AI and technology and all these sorts of things. Where do you see the progression in the future of, fulfillment and shipping and creating the client experience? What comes to mind for you as you project out, the next 12 to 36 to, 5 years from now, even?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how things are going to be delivered, by robots or spaceships, but I do know that people are going to always want, some type of physical product delivered. Books, I mean, sure, it's great. So many things are great to see online, but it's also really nice to enjoy a book or write in a workbook. And it's really fun to get a box that where you have that wow experience, where you open it up. That is so much fun when you get something from, like, join a mastermind group or some kind of loyalty program. It's fun to get those packages, and I think stuff like that will never change, and focusing on the client experience will never change. Your AI might be writing some of your copy, but you better, as an entrepreneur, be focusing on the client experience no matter what happens in the future.
Totally agree. I know why I'm kind of fascinated by your world, Joe. And, what I love about our partnership and working together as long as we have is my dad started a printing business when I was 13. And I think we talked about this before. And so I was in his shop, doing typesetting before computers did it for us, and like laying it out manually and putting it in this big press. It's probably the size of this room here, this video studio. And now to see, like you mentioned to me, you just got a new piece of, I'll call it technology as I view it, some would just call it a printing press, but it's tech built in that allows you to print on demand certain types of things. And you're telling me about how you can drop in like gold and broiled, stuff on there. And as a little bit of a tech geek myself, I get fascinated by this because of seeing where it went and where it's gone, where it started, where I got that firsthand experience at 13. And now you can put these 3-dimensional kind of objects on a book or on a package, that's custom to a client, and you can do it today, so it's shipping out in the next 48 hours or less. Like, it's just so fast. Anything you want to say to that? I'm just curious.
No, except, but it is a lot of fun. That equipment's like approximately the size of a big 18 wheeler, and it is kind of magical. You send the PDF file over to it, and it has to know the brand of paper, the weight of paper. It studies the atmosphere. I mean, it's unbelievably complex, but the volume that it cranks out and the speed is just unbelievable. You can watch through a window, kind of like a kid in walking down the busy streets in the old days, looking in the picture windows, and you can watch it cranking through there. It's just amazing, Dan. You would love to see it.
I know. And by the way, I know that if you want to go deeper with Joe and you become a client of Joe, you may just find yourself getting an invite to go to their amazing facility, warehouse, etc., to kind of see this stuff firsthand. It's unbelievable what they do. And by the way, if you're looking to take your shipping, your fulfillment, your client experience to the next level, then I encourage you to go learn more about what Joe and what his entire team and their entire team at disc.com is really doing to help you and us and all of us to help simplify, save money, save time ultimately, and also save worry and anxiety to be able to provide a first-class experience. Joe, as we wrap this up, like what's something I should have asked you that maybe we didn't cover yet? I'm curious.
I think you did great. I can't think of anything you didn't ask. You covered all the important parts of our business, and we talked about our great clients, our team, our systems. Oh, you got it covered, Dan.
Awesome. Well, then what would you say, as you kind of summarize today's, this segment, right? If you were to say, here are the key action steps to take as a result of our time together, what would you hope that someone watching or listening right now would do as far as action steps from today's segment?
Well, I want everybody to think big and dream about the possibilities, and contact us and think of something. Give something a try. Like one of my other huge accounts, friend John Bowen has a company, and we met once, and he started with a direct mail piece, total failure. 1,000. He talks about it all the time. Sent out 1,000 letters, not a single call to action, and nobody contacted him. But now he's a huge client, and we're shipping stuff every day. So I want everybody to give it a try, explore. The worst case, contact us and we'll become friends, and I'll send you some referrals, and we'll be friends for life, and we won't do any business. But either way, we'll dream big and look towards the futures.
So I encourage you, as you're watching, as you're listening right now, go learn more about what DISC can do. Joe, what you see here is what you get. It's like you're with Uncle Joe. That's how I always feel about Joe, and I've described him that way to many people. And the truth is he can help you with your client experience, either giving you perspective or just giving you a permanent solution where you can rest easy at night knowing you got the fulfillment, the media, and the shipping just dialed in and handled, along with the printing that goes along with all of those things. So go to disc.com or click on the number, reach out, have a conversation, learn more, and let them know that you heard about this process through us, and or it helped tip you off the fence to learn more as well, because I think there's a lot of value here. So with that, I've got about 6 pages of notes here from what Joe has shared, from talking about what he learned from Microsoft, what he learned from working with Jeff Walker, what he learned from shipping over 10,000 orders a day, from focusing on your client experience, create that wow, to be able to save time, to save money, to be able to, let me just look at my cheat sheet of notes here, to be able to extend the conversation with your clients in a really elegant, cool way, to be able to focus on them first, right? How do we increase retention? How do we increase referrals? How do we increase more business, right? Again, client experience, all of those things. And most importantly, I hope that you're inspired today with DISC. And what does DISC stand for again, Joe? It stands for
Delivering Inspiration and Specialized Knowledge.
If you want that with someone who's a legend in this industry, who's worked with a lot of legends in the industry, and you're looking for an option and a solution, then check out what disc.com has to offer. Take action with what Joe has shared. Seize the day. Make it a great week.
Thanks for listening to this episode of growthtofreedom.com. Are you struggling to get a steady flow of new clients every day? Or maybe hit a plateau or hit a wall in growing your business? Well, let's help you solve this problem today. Let's review your business and have a conversation. You can do that for free today at breakthroughstrategycall.com. That's breakthroughstrategycall.com. In addition, if you're looking for a simple way to implement some of what we've been talking about in today's episode, then I want to encourage you to get our free small business toolkit. You can get that at activate.breakthrough3x.com. That's activate.breakthrough3x.com. If you'd like access to the special resources and all the show notes for this special episode, make sure to visit growthtofreedom.com.
Hey, it's Dan Kuschell. Click the buttons over here on the left. You can watch these other couple videos, as well as make sure to hit the subscribe button so you can get access to the latest insights, strategies, and wisdom, giving you more clarity, confidence, and direction for exponential business growth. Hit the button now.